So the body's so objective that it does not know the difference between the real life experience that's creating the lack and the emotion that you're creating by thought alone called lack. The body's believing it's living the same past experience every day. Why? Because the end product of an experience is an emotion. Well, if your life is changing, but you're still feeling lack, don't expect anything that you won't even see it. You'll walk right past it. You're viewing your life through the lens of the past. Okay, so then the person realizes that all their friends are making money and they're doing stuff, and they're like, wow, I'm really feeling lack now. So then, when it no longer becomes about your abundance, and it becomes about your change, that's a valuable moment. When it's no longer about your healing, but it's about your change. I paid attention to a lot of people in the last couple of years tell their story. The people who heal in this work from cancers and all kinds of chronic health conditions and Parkinson's and strokes and paralysis and all kinds of things, rare genetic disorders. It never was about, when they've really got in the game, it was never about their healing. It was about, what do I need to change in order to heal? When the game goes like that, so then the person who's feeling lack, on some level or another, it's not just in the mind, it's in the body.
Spread love, man.
Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive. Today we're tackling those feelings of lack, that sense that there's never enough.
Oh yeah, we've all been there.
Exactly, and we're going to get some wisdom from Joe Dispenza.
I love Dispenza.
Me too. And this excerpt we're diving into is from one of his talks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it just blew my mind. So he talks about how our bodies, they can't really tell the difference between like actual physical lack and the feeling of lack that we create in our minds. It's like our body is stuck in this loop of scarcity, even when things are getting better.
Yeah, it's almost like we're addicted to the feeling of lack.
Right, exactly. Yeah, have you ever noticed that? Even when things are going well, you kind of get pulled back into those old worries.
Oh, all the time. Dispenza talks about this, and it's such a powerful analogy. He compares it to someone trying to break a bad habit or addiction.
Okay.
They know logically it's not good for them, but their body, it just craves that familiar feeling, even if it's negative.
Wow, that's so true. It's like we get so used to feeling a certain way that even when things start to improve, we almost can't see it because we're fixated on what we don't have.
It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But then there's all this talk about positive affirmations and the power of positive thinking. And I have to admit, I'm a little skeptical.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do our words really have that much power?
Oh, they absolutely can. The language we use, it often reflects our underlying beliefs,
Okay.
Like if we're constantly saying things like, I can't afford that, or I'm always struggling,
Right.
we're actually reinforcing that scarcity mindset.
So we're basically telling ourselves that we're lacking.
Yeah, exactly. But here's where it gets really interesting. Dispenza says that simply focusing on getting more abundance actually keeps us stuck in that lack mentality. The real change, it happens when we shift our attention inward.
Okay. So instead of like chasing after things, we should focus on changing ourselves.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about working on our inner world.
I like that. So instead of saying I can't, we could say I choose not to, or find a more empowering way to frame it.
Precisely. It's about making a conscious choice to use language that supports the reality we want.
That makes a lot of sense.
And one of the most powerful ways to shift our mindset is through meditation.
Meditation.
But not as a way to escape from our feelings, but as a way to actually become more aware of that lack-based thinking, the kind that sabotages us.
Okay, so instead of trying to avoid the feeling of lack, we should actually sit with it and explore it.
Exactly. By simply observing those thoughts without judgment, we create space for something new to emerge.
That's interesting. It's almost like facing your fears head on.
It can feel that way, but that's where the real power lies.
I can see that. And Dispenza also talks about this concept of mentally rehearsing our desired states.
Yes.
So is that like visualization?
It's similar, but think of it like practicing for a sport or a musical instrument. The more you practice, the better you get right. Well, in this case, we're practicing feeling abundant by vividly imagining and feeling ourselves as if we already have what we desire.
Okay, so we're creating a new neural pathway in our brains.
You got it. We're literally rewiring our brains for abundance.
That's amazing. So it's not just about thinking differently. It's about embodying abundance in our actions and our energy and how we show up in the world.
You nailed it.
Okay.
It's about becoming the most abundant version of ourselves.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Dispenza, he shares this incredible anecdote about a man who went from financial ruin to immense wealth.
Oh, yeah. What's the story?
Okay, so get this. His journey, it didn't start with chasing money. He started by asking himself, how would a wealthy person live? And then he dedicated himself to actually embodying those qualities.
Wow. So he didn't focus on getting rich. He focused on becoming the kind of person who is wealthy.
Exactly. And guess what happened?
What?
He became a philanthropist. He ended up giving away a huge chunk of his wealth.
Wow. That's incredible.
Isn't it? So it wasn't about like buying a fancy yacht or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was about becoming someone who gives back. It's like changing your internal state can actually create external abundance.
It really shows that it's not about the money itself. It's about who you become in the process.
Absolutely. And that seems to be a core theme in Dispenza's work. It's about transformation. It's about the journey of becoming rather than just reaching a destination.
I love that.
Now, if we zoom out a little bit, Dispenza breaks down how our thoughts and feelings, they chain together to form attitudes, then beliefs, and ultimately our perceptions of reality. It's like a domino effect.
It all starts with that initial thought.
Exactly. But how do we actually go from just understanding these concepts to living them?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And that's where Dispenza's practical tools come into play.
Okay, so tell me more about those.
Well, that's what we're going to uncover as we continue our deep dive.
I can't wait.
So one of the most powerful tools Dispenza talks about is gratitude.
Okay, gratitude.
Yeah. Instead of dwelling on what we lack, he encourages us to shift our attention to what we already have. Even the small things, you know?
So like instead of focusing on that dream car I don't have yet or that bigger house, I should be grateful for the roof over my head, the food on my table, the people in my life.
Exactly. It's about cultivating this attitude of appreciation for what we have right now. And that helps to shift our energy from lack to abundance.
That makes a lot of sense. By focusing on the good, even the little things, we're retraining our brains to see the abundance that's already there.
Right. And as we practice gratitude, we start to attract more things to be grateful for.
It's like a positive feedback loop.
Exactly. And to amplify that even more, Dispenza suggests using visualization.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier, like that story of the man who envisioned himself as wealthy and ended up a philanthropist.
Yes. Dispenza says we should take time each day to visualize ourselves living as if our desires have already manifested. And we want to really engage all our senses, you know?
So we're not just daydreaming, we're creating a vivid mental movie.
Exactly. With sights, sounds, feelings, even smells.
Wow. And the key is to feel the emotions that go with those desires.
Yes. If we want to attract abundance, we need to genuinely feel abundant in our visualizations.
I can see how that would be powerful.
Yeah.
By consistently immersing ourselves in that feeling, we're sending a message to our subconscious mind that this is our reality.
That's it. And it starts to shift our energy, making us a magnet for those very things we're visualizing.
So gratitude helps us shift our focus, and visualization gives us this tool to practice abundance. But Dispenza doesn't stop there, does he?
Nope. He also emphasizes the importance of being mindful of our language, paying attention to the words we use both internally and externally.
This all sounds great in theory, but what about those days when you're just in a funk? Feeling negative. How do you get out of that?
That's when we turn to elevated emotions.
Okay.
Remember, our emotions are energy in motion, and they play a crucial role in shaping our reality.
So instead of getting caught up in those low-vibe emotions like lack or worry or fear, we need to cultivate higher frequency emotions like joy and gratitude and love and peace.
Exactly. Dispenza suggests that by deliberately shifting to an elevated emotional state, we can weaken the grip of those old limiting beliefs.
It's like shining a light into the darkness and the shadows disappear.
I love that analogy. But it's easier said than done, right? Like, how do you actually shift your emotional state when you're feeling stuck?
Right. Sometimes I listen to music. That helps me a lot.
Music is a fantastic tool. Uplifting music, something that makes you want to dance or sing, can instantly shift your energy.
Yeah, for sure.
What else works?
Spending time in nature is another great one. Immersing yourself in the beauty of nature, whether it's a walk in the park or a hike in the mountains, can do wonders for your emotional state.
Nature is definitely healing.
It is. And this is where it gets really interesting. Dispenza talks about how the body actually craves familiar feelings even if they're negative.
Oh, wow.
So if we've been conditioned to feel lack, our bodies might resist those feelings of abundance at first.
Because it's unfamiliar.
Exactly.
So it's like we have to break that addiction to lack. Yes. And Dispenza acknowledges that this process can be tough. He compares it to breaking any other addiction. There will be moments of resistance, those cravings to go back to what's familiar.
So we're rewiring our brains and our bodies.
You got it. It takes conscious effort and commitment, but the rewards are worth it.
I believe that.
As we embody those higher frequency emotions, we start attracting experiences that align with that vibration.
It's like we're tuning into a different radio station, one that's broadcasting abundance instead of lack.
Such a great analogy. And that station is always available to us. It's just a matter of choosing to tune in.
And once we're tuned in, then it's time for action.
Right. It's not enough to simply think and feel abundant. We need to take inspired action that's aligned with our desires.
So walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Yeah.
What would that look like?
It's about embodying abundance in our actions and choices and behaviors. So if we want to attract more wealth, for example, we might take steps to learn more about managing our finances or explore new ways to earn money or invest in our skills and talents.
So even small steps can make a difference.
Absolutely. Every step we take in the direction of our desires sends a powerful signal that we're serious about creating a new reality.
I love how Dispenza ties all of these practical tools together. It's like building momentum towards abundance.
Exactly.
But we haven't talked about our beliefs yet. You know, those deep-seated beliefs that might be holding us back.
You're right. Dispenza talks about how our beliefs, which are basically ingrained thought patterns, create our perceptions of reality. And these perceptions act like filters, you know?
Okay.
They shape how we interpret the world around us.
So if we have a belief that we're not worthy of abundance, that will influence how we see ourselves and the opportunities that come our way.
Exactly. It's like wearing glasses with a specific tint. Everything we see is filtered through that color.
And we're often unaware of these filters, right?
Right. We're
Uh-huh.
operating on autopilot.
Which is why Dispenza emphasizes becoming conscious observers of our thoughts and feelings. Because once we're aware of those limiting beliefs, we can start to change them.
Yes. It's about moving from unconscious patterns to conscious choices.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
But how do we actually change those beliefs?
that's the big question. And that's what we'll uncover as we continue our deep dive.
Okay, so we're back, ready to tackle those deep-seated beliefs that might be holding us back from abundance. How do we transform these beliefs?
Well, Dispenza talks about using those elevated emotions. Remember, our emotions, they're powerful energy and they shape our reality.
Right, right. So we need to cultivate more joy, gratitude, love, peace, instead of getting stuck in lack, worry, and fear.
You got it. Dispenza says that by shifting to those higher emotions, we can weaken those old beliefs. You know, it's like shining a light into the darkness. Those shadows just disappear.
I love that analogy. It's just sometimes those beliefs feel so ingrained. How do you actually shift your state when you're feeling stuck?
He suggests a bunch of techniques. One that's really powerful is music.
Music always helps me.
Me too. Uplifting music, something that makes you want to dance or sing, can totally shift your energy.
For sure. What else works?
Spending time in nature, that's another great one. Immersing yourself in nature, whether it's a walk in the park or a hike, can do wonders for your emotional state.
Yeah, nature is so healing.
Totally. And once we're feeling those good vibes, Dispenza reminds us about taking action.
Right? It's not enough to just think and feel abundant. We need to actually do something.
Exactly. It's about embodying abundance in our actions, our choices and behaviors.
So like if we want more wealth,
We could learn more about finances, explore new ways to make money, or invest in our skills.
so every step we take sends a signal that we're serious about change.
Exactly. We're creating a new reality.
I love how all these tools work together. Gratitude visualization, mindful language, elevated emotions, inspired action. It's like we're building this momentum towards abundance.
We are. We're literally rewriting the code of our subconscious minds.
Wow. This deep dive into Joe Dispenza has been incredible. We've covered so much from how our thoughts create our reality to practical tools for breaking free from lack. What stands out to you the most?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that we're not victims of our circumstances. We have so much power to shape our lives. It's not about wishful thinking. It's about making conscious choices.
I totally agree. It's been a real eye-opener to see that we're not just observers, we're creators. And it all starts with our thoughts and feelings.
Absolutely. It's a journey of transformation, a process of becoming the most abundant versions of ourselves.
And that journey begins with awareness. Becoming aware of our thoughts, our beliefs, and our emotions is the first step to creating lasting change.
As you continue on your journey, think about this. If our bodies believe our thoughts about lack, what other subconscious beliefs might be shaping your reality without you even realizing it?
That's a great question to ponder. I encourage everyone to explore Dispenza's work and discover the transformative power of aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with abundance. Until next time.